hit stream, and we should be live. So everyone should be hearing me. This is actually our first live stream to YouTube. So welcome to the Board Game Bar. Today we are going to go through and play some, well, not play, we're going to do some TTS modding for Platypus Industries, who have made the game and kickstarted the game Drop Bears. So we actually already have made a drink for this, so let's actually start by making that drink. So today what we're going to need is some tequila, Campari, sugar syrup, if you've got some raspberry sugar syrup, and some bitters that you like. Today you could probably use Peychaud's is the best bitters for it, but we're actually going to try and tinker with it a little bit, and we're going to have some Bogarts. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some of that. Actually, no, we're not going to use Bogarts. We're going to use the chocolate bitters. So we just got some lovely new chocolate bitters in there. So we're just going to chuck a couple of dashes of them in there. We're then going to do our sugar syrup. So this is half a shot. And then we're going to do half a shot of, 2/3 a shot of Campari. And then you're going to do a shot and a half of tequila. Now this drink is also using absinthe. So in this drink, what we want to make sure is you're not overdoing the absinthe. It's very, very strong. So today we're actually going to use a spray bottle. So we made our own little spray bottle for it. Grab your glass, and we're just going to get 2 dashes in there. So you could also pour some in and then actually stir it around, but that's how quick it is to make this drink. It's a very easy drink. All we're going to do, just give it a stir, try and get some of the ice and cool and chill the drink down a little bit. And then once we've done this, we're going to jump into TTS. So, how do you describe Drop Bears? So Drop Bears is a very brutal game. It is a game that is designed to make your gaming adventure challenging, and you are adventurers in the Australian outback, or not adventurers, you are travelers in the Australian outback who have to try and survive the night. So it is a team game. You are all trying to work together. We'll put that off to the back. And that is the Tequila Mi Elmo to go with Drop Bears. So we're going to jump across to our other screen where we're going to show, yep, you don't need to see the back end. We've seen that. We're going to actually show the game. So have a quick sip. Ooh, yeah, those chocolate bitters, I really enjoy. It is a very bitter heavy drink. Obviously the Campari is very, very bitter. So you could dial that back and put some extra sugar syrup in there if you want. Change up the ratios depending on how much of a bittery drink you want. So Matt Aslan from Platypus Industries has reached out to us and asked us to update the TTS mod. So we helped him with the mod back when the Kickstarter campaign was on. So I'm just going to put these off to the side so we've got space. And effectively, they've got the extra updates that they want to add into the game. So we have the Howler Kickstarter stretch goal. So this is a new mini that's actually coming into play. We also have Old Bruce, who is was a stretch goal, but also is an additional buy. So it's not something you get with the bolt, whereas with the box, whereas Howler is. So he's an additional buy expansion, and same with Ancient Una. These have all been tested and are ready. So if we actually jump across into here, these are what we're going to add into TTS. Yeah, so there's quite a few things in. We've got a model, we've got different play cards, we have various different aspects, tracking tokens, utility cards, utility tokens. Yeah, so let's jump into actually getting some of those aspects ready. So what I might do is in the studio, this is our first time streaming we usually actually stream to Twitch. So I'm going to actually have to learn and update how we actually look at the live stream component, because that is a different component to us. So if we bring up our stream, we can see in here, we can see all of our chats. So I might actually, if we can, pop this out. Yep, pop out chat. There we go. So now we can actually see on screen any chats that might. Sorry, live chat is currently unavailable. Okay. Yeah, let us know if you if you can chat. You know, we've got our Discord channel as well. Ooh, I actually really like the chocolate bitters in there. So we got these from the Bitter Truth from there's a company in Fitzroy in Melbourne. So Only Bitters has a huge selection of different bitters, and that was one we got from them. That chocolatey note is delicious in there. So what we might do is actually start bringing in the profile cards first. So if we move across, we'll go to expansion or Bruce. We can see we've got tokens and we've got the cards. So we want to be bringing in, so we've got different camper profiles. And just for ease of use here, I'm going to do extra large icons because I am a bit away from the screen. In fact, I might even go get my glasses from off camera because I'm getting old. Beast cards. Awesome. So, Old Bruce front and back. So that's the first card we're going to bring into TTS. So if we come in here, we're going to go objects, components, and let's go a custom card. It's going to go here. The face. So if we go back and we go to cards, is going to be the Old Bruce front. We're going to do that to the cloud. So I put everything into our Drop Bears. And then while that is loading, we're actually going to put the back in as well. Also in cloud and also in our Drop Bears folder. So basically what this is going to allow us to do is anytime you load that mod and see it, this will actually be visible. So if we zoom in, what we could probably actually do within this is we're actually going to grab it and we're just going to make it a bit bigger so that it is nice and visible when we're out. It is a big card. So we've got that. We can see all the details that come across. The card's looking good. So this is now ready. We can put that into there. So that's a profile card, the Old Bruce tracking token. So this is a special token that goes on to, so we can see here, the Old Bruce tracking token. If we want to zoom in on it, let's bring it, yeah, there we go. That's a bit easier for you to see. So this tracking component is something that's going to go onto the actual playmat. So in here, let's find that tracking component so we know exactly where it is, what we're looking for. I'm guessing that's going to be under tokens, and here we go. Yep, so that's the tracking component. And this is actually going to be one that we put front and back is going to be the same. So again, objects, component, custom, and we're going to do a token this time because it is actually a token, not a card. We go back and out and tokens, token silhouettes. So this should be, yep, that's the Old Bruce token. Yep, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Again, TTS, if you can make it so well, we've got a project open, it just saves, that would be amazing. That would be fantastic. So in there we've got that. We'll actually bump up the thickness just a little bit because this is a play component that we want to be able to see. It's not going to be stand up and it's not going to be stackable. So we're going to import that. So stackable basically means that it would actually be able to go on each other. So we'd actually be able to have multiple, but we actually don't need that for what we're doing here. So there we go. There's the token. And that's going to go in the box as well. So now we've got 4 unique utility cards that actually come, as well as 4 unique utility tokens, as well as 12 utility cards. So there's actually 16 utility cards. So let's actually see. So this is the Old Bruce token gear. Yep. So these are the extra tokens that are going to come in. What's this? So we've got 2 new campers by the looks of it. Yep. So we've got 2 new campers. So are they mentioned on the box? They're not. So I'll actually have to chat with Matt. Oh yeah, there we go. So 2 camper tokens and profile cards. Ah, so that's what the... That's actually not mentioned in his list, but we're going to go based on those. So there's going to be 2 new cards that we'll need to add as well. We're not going to get through all of these. We'll just do part of them, because obviously there's All Bruce, there's Una, and there's Howler to all add. So there's quite a bit to add. We're just going to do a quick half-hour, 40-minute stream while I drink this drink and do some coding. So show you what goes on in the back end. It's important to note, so this is not, this is something we're doing as a fun thing on the side. This is not something that is normal for us. Any game publishers out there, we obviously do make drinks that pair with games, and we also do TTS mods. So we've done a few out there, so just definitely have a look, see what you like, and go from there. Make sure you also say hi in the chat. Let us know what you are interested in seeing. And yeah, we'll probably keep going for another maybe half hour or so, just to get as much of these components in there for you. Yeah, so we are just doing, this is actually quite a delayed stream. First stream on YouTube, so in the chat, I might not be able to see your chats until a bit later. Oh, actually, no, it is. Where is the, is it up to date if I zoom forward? Yeah, so it will be good to see what it is you want to see, and we can go through, because obviously I do have the screen share on as well, so I can actually see what's happening in there. Yeah, it'll be good. Have some feedback. Let us know what you want to see. Hopefully the audio, if I go through and just have a look, the audio looks like it's going pretty well. Yeah, and that is that. So we're going to go back into here, and we're going to take a look. So next, so we've got pressure cubes, unique ability tokens. So we're going to bring those tokens in as well. There's a few things that are quite easy to bring in, so we want to try and bring them in first because they are a bit easier. But these are tokens especially are a bit of a pain, because you have to bring them in each one at a time. So if we will start at the back and we'll bring them in that way. We'll go open, cloud, and again, this is going to be in Drop Bears. We're going to leave all of that thickness the same. So then we'll do another token. And this time it's going to be the Gear 04, cloud, upload and import. Once the image is saved, import. So then we do another. So now we're on to 3. And this is kind of like, this is the easy part. These are the first kind of easy parts. It's when we start looking at bringing in the models. We actually need to start using Blender, which is a 3D editing software. And then we actually also need to start looking at some other things as well. What we can also do within these tokens as well, just to try and make it easier for everyone to read, we can actually also give them names and titles, and that's actually quite useful. So for instance, here these are all unique utility tokens, and because they're unique, we can actually give them the specific name. So for instance, this is Old Bruce token 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we know that in here, that was 4, that was 3, so we could actually go into here and give it a name. So Old Bruce token 4. And that would actually make it a bit easier when you're actually looking at things. You can hover over and see the name of that item. So we'll bring in the next one. So 3, so this is token 2. We're doing this into the cloud again. Bang, upload. While that's going, we'll give, copy this and give this a name. So this is 3. We import that. Give this the name 2, and now we should be able to bring in number 1. So gear number 1, and this brings in all of the different, oops, so we're going to go token 1, open, going to cloud, it's going to go into, again, Drop Bears. We're going to import it. While it's naming, we're going to give it the name of number 1. Beautiful. So this now brings in those unique tiles. So we've got, it says 4 unique, but then you've got this 5th one as well. So I'm not exactly sure what the difference is going to be, but they're all going to go into the box as well. So what's next? We have 4 tokens. So there'll be 4 utility cards that go with it, as well as 6 habitat tiles and 18 pressure cubes. And habitat confrontation times 1. What's the habitat confrontation? That's the habitat tile. That's the big habitat tile. Habitat tiles as well. Doesn't actually have what the habitat confrontation is, so we'll have to go back and find out. Pressure cubes, pretty easy. We actually probably aren't going to have anything on here that does that. Old Bruce. Yep, that's fine. That's the mini for Old Bruce, so that's something we'll look at later. These are all the tiles we need to bring in. And this is actually a special tile that we're going to need to bring in. Cards we know are all there, and that's where the utility cards are actually all stored up in here, so that's actually going to be a nice easy one for us to bring in. Camper profile cards, again, nice easy one for us to bring in, but we can actually grab that as we can grab that from the base set to make it a bit easier on us as well, because we've done a bunch of customizations on those profile cards so that when you use the tokens they snap to, which is useful, and that's why one of the things we spend a lot of time doing that for Platypus Industries as well, is because in the game the actual hard copy of the game actually has the double layered cardboard, which allows you to slot things in, and that makes things a lot easier when you're trying to place tokens. So we wanted to replicate that in TTS as well, because that is something that is really, really useful and key to the game. So as we continue to drink our tequila mi Elmo, the next thing we're going to bring in is a deck. So we're going to bring in the back first. So we know that the cards have a, let's bring in the utility cards. So we've got a survival deck as well as a, so we've got 16 cards here and 14 cards here, I believe. So if we go version 5.775, yep, so that's going to be the back, and we'll bring in those 4 first. Again, we'll upload that to Drop Bears. We're not doing unique backs, so that's nice and easy. And the fronts we know are going to be like this, so we should be able to bring them in. Let's see, it might not work perfectly. We might have some different angles that might be off, but that's where we can actually have a look. I like to bring it in first, see what's actually working, what's not, and then we can actually cut and move things around. So if we go import, Unity is going to do its fun little thing to actually import those cards for us, or it's just going to crash Tabletop Simulator entirely. And we're going to have to use our, let's switch back to this view while I get Tabletop Simulator back up and running. It's a bit unfortunate. Absolutely. I would recommend updating the recipe. So rather than using pasteurized, use these chocolate bitters. They are delicious in there. Bitters in general, so either using Angostura, Peychaud's, any of those, they're like a garnish. You only need a little bit of them, so 2 dashes or so, more than enough. This is a nice, interesting problem. Okay, yep. It's not, because they're just hidden. What I've actually done is that the expansions are actually only on grey at the moment. That's not something that needs to, like, I'll change that before we actually deploy as well. So let's just quickly check and make sure that it's got everything we needed. Yeah, it's already caught up with these tokens. So if I grab this token out, beautiful, it's still in there. No, go in. You can't because I'm low. All right, so it didn't bring in the cards that we wanted to bring in, did it? So if we go to modding and we go to our cloud manager and we go to Drop Bears, yeah, it's having some kind of issue. Maybe with these cards here, which was the ones we just brought in. It seems like it's having issue with those cards. So we're not going to bring those cards in, because if that keeps crashing, then we're going to cause issues. So what we might do is have a look at the miniatures. So if I go back to here and we open up, let's say we open up this. This is Old Bruce, who is a giant mini who will come down and wreck your house. Let's have a quick look at this mini. He is quite big, so he's 387 megabytes. So he's a very large file. We'll have a look at what he is. There we go. Just want to preview so I can show everyone. So what we'll actually do is we'll bring the file into Blender. So we've got Blender 3.4 on here. No, that just does not want to run it. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, this is the first time we've actually run that on here. So we're going to open Drop Bears, Old Bruce, miniatures. So it's not going to like, it doesn't want to bring in our files as a file, so I actually need to delete that. And we need to import. There we go. We can import an STL file or an object file. Let's do this one. Downloads, Drop Bears, Old Bruce, miniatures, STL. There we go. Now you actually saw this is the scale it was at. This is the scale of Old Bruce. So if we grab this tile and we're going to just rotate him. So this is what he looks like. Oh, no, not what I wanted. Back onto this angle. All right, so this is Old Bruce. He is a monumental beast. And he's actually to scale. So when you get the mini that he's holding, the camper that he's actually holding, is actually to scale. So you'll actually be able to put the wooden mini for the player next to the mini that's actually being held in hand, and that's how big he is. So what we'd actually need to do is bring this into TTS. So from an STL file, we can't bring that STL file straight into TTS. So we have to convert that. Then we have to create a layer, which is just going to be the gray that we have to get those details. And then we're going to bring in so we could color him if we wanted to, but that's a lot of work in doing painting. And that's, I'm not a painter. I'm not that artistic. But then we can actually also build a collider. So basically what a collider is the ability for us to rough out the map of the model so that in TTS it knows that, oh, if I hit this ear, that ear is actually something solid, so it's actually going to knock the model or things like that. So when you put these pieces and move these pieces around, if you swung that piece around, it would actually collide with anything else that has a collision map on it as well. So that is Old Bruce. While we're there, we actually might as well even show you. So we do that, and we'll actually show you the special one, because I believe we have already shown Old Bruce before, but I don't believe we have actually had or been able to show Ancient Una. So we go into here, we go into Ancient Una, the platypus, big file. quite enjoy that drink. When you're playing Drop Bears, a slow sipper is a great choice, and this is definitely a slow sipper. It's not one you're going to want to be drinking too much of or too fast. Oh, look at Luna. Look at Luna, so scary. Oof. Certainly something that when you look at the mini, like it's your whole hand. Like it's not a small mini, and you know, plonking that down on the board is definitely cause for some, you know, concern. So yeah, such an awesome mini. So again, what we'd actually be doing is looking at the different components that and roughing out and building that collider as well, because within this we need to actually build the main box that's around the body and the tile, so we can actually build that pretty simply, but then it's the overhangs. We want to build the collider that actually goes and hits in front of that mouth as well. So it's just mainly, I think, that mouth that would want to actually build the collider for, maybe even that paw as well. So if we look from the underside, yeah, so it's these components here that we can see that overlap. That way, when we're actually putting tiles and things down, you know, you don't want the tail from Una to be, you know, meshed with another tile, because it just doesn't know that that's actually something that should be there. So yeah, that is the models, and yeah, Blender's how we do that. Would then actually build this as a custom, what we call asset bundle, to bring both Una and Old Bruce into the game. So the other things that we need to, so I'll need to check the cubes. We actually just bring them in. We don't even need assets for them. They'll actually just be squares that we can control, so we can actually make in TTS glass models. So we'll bring in that. Would bring in the tokens the same as what we did with the models, but they're a lot easier because they're actually just a front face that we make nice and thick. The cards, once again, we bring in the decks of cards as well as the for each one, and then we basically cut and paste from there. And then same with Una. So then we'll actually have to do the same process. The model profile cards, they've got 12 poison tokens, 12 trash tokens, 12 utility cards, 12 evolution cards, and 8 habitat tiles. So pretty straightforward. We're not doing any customizations on the actual script itself. The only customization we're doing is we're just going to be actually removing the hide loads. So these were actually already in the TTS mod. We actually just removed them out. So yeah, with Tabletop Simulator, it's a bit hard to actually show you something working when it's actually having a hissy fit. So what we might do, let's see if we can bring, what other things can we bring in while we'll try and bring in these pressure cubes for you. So single player, go back to this one. And it'll be me. So objects, we're going to bring in components. Yeah, we're going to bring in just custom squares. So blocks, red square, we're going to bring in that. So then what I'm going to do is so that's just a black square. What we can do from here is we can actually customize that slightly, just so it's not, you know, so basic. So we can actually say, all right, well, this is what kind of material is it, how much bounciness does it have? It's a full rigid body mass. Cool. That should be fine. Save and exit. Yeah, so then we've got that model in. So if we copy, we can then paste 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can grab all of these, shake them all together, and what we might do is just get one more that we're, well, actually, we wouldn't be able to do that. So what we could actually do, objects, components, and we can bring in a custom. Oh, no, we wouldn't be able to, because if we wanted to build a custom, so we could build a custom cube that actually represents that. A bit more work, would actually have to build that custom cube first. So what we're going to do is just grab all of these and dump them into the box as well. So now it's got, in the box, it's got those custom cubes. And later on, I'll actually go through and we'll condense them down into one. We've got the profile card in there. We've got the pressure cubes in there. This habitat tile and these habitat tiles, because they're special, they've actually got their own. We're going to have to bring them in as their own. Would we actually? TTS did do some updates. So if we go through, and we're going to make our own custom tile. So the top image, let's see. So location tiles, we've got this. And we're actually going to make that the same in both. So if we go Drop Bears upload, we're going to change the thickness to, again, 30. I'll actually make that. Yeah, this isn't going to work because the hex is actually not correct. So if we copy and paste, what's going to happen when we import, it's actually not going to have the effect we want. So what we actually could do is bring it in as a token. So you can see here, what it's done is put that white ribbon around it. So if we wanted that piece, we're going to delete it. What we could actually then do is bring it in as a token instead. Bring that in, put the thickness to 30. I believe that's what the thickness is of all of the play pieces that we brought in. And you can see that it actually brings it in the size we want. So then we can actually set the size that we want it to be. And that's actually been brought in. So I think I'd have to change this to match the sizes we have. And I'll do that afterwards as well. So what we'll actually do is grab this out. I'll have one of the comparison tiles next to it and would actually make that exactly the same size as well. Then we've got 4 habitat tiles as well. So again, we're going to have to bring them in as tokens because they are not in line. So that's what these are. So there's actually a lot more. So this is the back. And the tokens aren't going to have anything special on them. So that's going to be, again, I go back to Matt, there's more tiles than we actually need. So I'll talk to the publisher, Platypus Industries or Matt, and we'll actually figure out what ones we need because there are more there than we actually have. So I'll cancel that one. We've brought those in. The cards are crashing it, so then we'll also need to figure out the custom cards. And then what we'll do within these, rather than us creating these from scratch, I'll actually go grab the profiles and tokens from the other ones. We'll copy them across and then we'll just change the mesh colliders to match these. That way, everything that the original cards already have should align and match up to this. We wouldn't need to reconfigure them to do the exact same thing over and over again. Would have those custom done. The only other thing we actually probably want to show and have a look at is that custom modding. So in here, so in the scripting, we've got custom modding on this, and what that's actually doing. So I'll quickly, whilst we're here, override this, save that, and we're going to delete, and we're going to load this one up. So all the things are in there. But if I went into modding, we go into scripting, and I go all the way down the bottom, save and play, we can actually start unboxing everything. So this actually unboxes everything for us, and you can see that some of the custom asset bundles are broken, so I'm going to have to fix them up as well. But these are those custom tiles that we're actually talking about. So in here, we can actually see that's what a custom tile looks like. So if I grab this one out, we can see that this is actually quite a bit too big. So we can actually go through and keep resizing it until it actually matches. And that would be probably around about where it actually matches. So we'd keep doing that, and we can also see it's a lot thicker than it needs to be. So I'd actually just also change. So if we go to that, go to custom, we can see that the thickness is actually 20. So we go custom on this item. Is already been blocked by this, so I'd have to fix that up. But yeah, if we go to custom here, we change this down to 20, import, we can see that this lines up a bit better, if not on top. So we'd actually need to go through, and we could just keep doing that, and would actually line it all up, make sure it all matches. This probably needs to be slightly bigger. There we go. So that's the size that we'd want to be trying to achieve, and that fits in almost perfectly. So then if we grabbed, so we space out and we grab another location tile, again, I think these are actually having some, nope, these are fine. We can actually see that that slots in next to it, and that actually fits in perfectly with these tiles here. Yeah, so that is the base components. We've started creating those different components, started having a look and getting all the rough-ins that we needed to get whilst drinking the Tequila Mi Elmo. What I might do quickly as well, so you've got your players, you've got your tokens. These are the different player tokens, so if we actually flip one over, we can see that that's not working for some reason. So we know that the cheerleader, so some of these tokens aren't working, so I'm going to need to fix them. So if I take that back, we flip that over, we go into here. I can actually go, yeah, there we go. That's the deck there. So I actually just need to fix this deck here. So that'll be cards, and this will be the campers. Here we go. It's gonna be, I believe, this one here. Open, cloud, Drop Bears, upload. And we import. Let's actually see if that fixes it. No, so that was actually the wrong ones, but it does bring them across. So you can see that we've brought what we thought across. If I go back and load this, if we do that again, minimize this, and I'm going to go to custom. We're going to fix this one. So what it's actually going to be is this one here. We go OK, cloud, Drop Bears, upload. And basically what this is these would have been, so there was partial developers working on this. Whoever was working on it before I was, probably all of their files got removed. So now if we scroll down and we have a look here, when we bring out a card and flip it over, oh look, influencer is there and ready. But the names have changed. We actually need to go back and we need to fix up those names because they do need those names. So this is influencer, and would actually go through, give them the names again. One of the important things to note within this is they actually do have also little tokens on them as well. So we can actually go through and everything kind of snap locks into place on them because that's what we actually built with them as well, just to make that a bit easier. If we go back, we can see that there's some other asset bundles that we need to fix up as well. So that I know is the Dusk to Dawn map. So here, we're going to need a custom token. I'd need to know what custom token that is, but I believe that is the Dusk to Dawn board, which is this one here. So click OK, I go here, Drop Bears, upload, and hopefully that should fix that. We go import. Yeah, so that was that one there. So that'll actually come in. state 1, state 2. Yeah, so then we've got different states for it. So this one is no marking. Import. Then if we go to state 2, we've got to fix this one up as well. Upload, import, and that should fix it. There we go. So now we've got this object. Yep, there we go. So that's in the right spot. So that's what it looks like when it's in in 2, and this is what it looks like when it's in 1. So that one's now fixed. Would need to figure out what asset bundle this is for. By the looks of, yeah, I did something wrong there. That shouldn't be like that. Death tracker, yeah, so that was the wrong tracker that I updated, but I'm not going to save this. I'll jump out and I'll actually save those properly. So yeah, that's basically the process that we go through here, is we find each of the different asset bundles or things that are broken. So what disappears if I delete this one? I can't readily see something disappearing. So we'd need to find out what it is that's actually disappearing. Nothing's in the box still. Those tokens, those are working, so that's fine. The tiles seem to be working, so that's also really good. If there is anything that's broken in these, that's where we'd need to go through and find out. And I can actually do that just by searching. So if we go through, we can see, yes, the first 3 are working, but there's a whole bunch in there that aren't working, which I'll need to fix up as well. These all appear to be working. And if we do the dot points, you can actually see we've done some click marks. So when you hover something over, it actually puts it into the right spot. These minis are all working, which is fantastic. Are the cards working? That's actually a good question. So flip over. No, the cards aren't working either. So I'd need to fix those cards. But I think that's mostly everything. So yeah, that's not everything done. That's just what I'll be looking at today. I don't think there's really much more that you probably want to watch or see from streaming. We have made the Tequila Mi Amo, so make sure you check that out for Drop Bears. We have also made several other drinks for games, including other drinks for Platypus Industry games. We made the Ratcatcher. We made a drink for Ratcatcher. I can't actually remember the name of it. It's a blue milky drink. Beautiful, absolutely. Actually, one of my favorites. Next to obviously the Necromancer and the New York Sour. So check out some of our other videos on the channel. Yeah, this was our first live stream. Really just wanted to try and get things running, see how things, see how the YouTube live stream worked. And yeah, we can go from there. And we'll see you all very soon in the next video. Thanks all.